Mission
heavy.
selection.
Mission selection.
Beep boop, I am robot.
Robot now. Live. And greetings and a good evening. Welcome to the atarangi. What are we doing today, Billy?
We're keeping that one. Alright, let's go. So today we are talking about
Wealth, fame, power.
One Piece.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll start with a very brief spoiler-free section here. So Barry's been watching the series, he's been trying to catch up. Simile and me are pretty much catched up with the series.
I am
This-
Speed.
What?
I am Speed.
You do be speed? This video
mean,
we will
I
be
watched,
talking about everything before the time skip. So that's about the first half of the episode.
I watched like 50 episodes in the last month, so... Some give or take.
Alright Barry, your spoiler-free impressions so far.
This rock is gonna be the death of us.
Spoiler free impressions. It's a pirate series, isn't it?
Stage 1, team. Your objectives are prepared.
I feel with One Piece you start off and it's just like
To complete them all.
a silly action show, and then over time you start noticing that there's more happening in the background.
And after watching stuff that's right before time skip, like, I mean, that's when it really got interesting to me, which is like 500 episodes in and it finally got really interesting.
The thing is,
But like,
That's
it's
be-
always a fun show to watch.
yeah, the fun
and-
thing with One Piece is it sets up mysteries for like 200 episodes, and you keep finding out new stuff and getting more questions about it.
I mean,
Yes.
this is a post time skip thing, but like, I watched something and like it's like it references to something that's like 500 episodes ago. And it's like,
Yes.
so that's how that works. And there's so many things like that.
Yeah, there's things that on first sight don't make any sense, and then later you learn why they do make sense.
So I'm just part of the world, and you just learn more about them as like you go on. And
So,
it's so much fun.
Without further ado, here is our scoring sheet. You will notice the scoring sheet is only for the first 500 or so episodes, rounded off. And actually, past this, many of these scores will be higher in coming arcs. The series
Yeah,
actually
pretty
gets
much.
better over time. As opposed to many series that kinda get worse over time. So,
One Piece is like a roller coaster. It only goes up.
yes.
That's not how roller coasters work. Jimmy, have you ever been on one?
Yes.
I seriously doubt that.
It only went up though.
He steps out on the top.
So I thought Tom gets into his private helicopter.
Alright,
Yo, what's the spawn of this Nitra?
it's vibing. Consider yourself warned for spoilers.
Hold on, I'm gonna do what you did in the previous episode. Yeah, there be spoilers ahead. But this time it actually makes sense because we're talking about the pirates.
Pirates.
I'm just gonna let that happen.
I'm being grabbed.
Lock and loaded. God
Alright, Barry. So what
Trigger.
did you
Go
think
down.
of, what?
Look over here.
You can just walk down.
No.
What did you think of the very start of the series? Like,
I mean, it just starts, right? Like, there's no lot of backstory, it just kind of starts.
in fact, the backstory for the main character only starts showing up like 400 episodes in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, you get the
Um,
backstories for side characters way before you get them for the main character.
Yeah. And, but you do, like, I mean, you get the backstory for, well, part of the backstory for one of them. Can I name them? We're in the spoiler section,
Yeah, of course,
right?
we're in the spoilers.
Like, you get the
Spoiler section.
you get the backstory of part of it for Shanks. Like, you learn how he lost his arm in, like, you know,
Yes.
the first 20 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
But like,
way later on, you learn that he's actually a very high-ranked individual.
and then you just don't hear, like, after the first 20 episodes or something, you just don't hear anything about him.
Till you hear that he somehow stopped another like high-ranking pirate, Kaido, somewhere off-screen.
and then the next time you see him before the time skip is when he just shows up.
He just shows up and stops the war from continuing.
Imagine being so badass you can just stop by appearing.
But yeah, I do like how they introduce the main crew.
So let's start with that. The period of time where the first few crew members join.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, initially we see Luffy in a battle.
Yeah, we see Luffy appearing in a barrel. We fight Alvida, which is a pirate that has caught like a random ass boy to basically be a slave.
Pretty much.
Luffy takes the random ass boy with him, and the series kind of tries to make you forget about him, and then makes him pop back up like 200 episodes later.
Indeed.
Yeah, something like that. He comes back a couple of times.
Yeah, he's actually a pretty important character.
That is hilarious.
Everyone is an important character in One Piece.
Yeah, like there's no single character that you can just be like, this character showed up once, probably not gonna see them again. Unless we're talking about characters that are in like, you know...
Like the mayor from Orange Town. Obviously he's gonna stay in Orange Town, because he's the mayor.
Yeah, that as well.
But I like how a character was important, and then 30 episodes later, you hear about him again.
We also often cut back to characters that we left behind somewhere, in like in between arcs, when they read the news about what the Straw Hats have been up to.
Yeah, that's also fun how that goes back and
Yeah.
you know, you kind of
One
get
of
to
my
see
most
those
favorite
characters
things
again.
after an arc is the post-arc thing, when we learn like their new bounties, reaction of other people.
It's also fun how you can like have a character that just like dies, but then you see them again way later because it's a flashback in the future.
Maybe important characters do actually die in One Piece. It's not comic books.
People trying to explain One Piece to their friends be like, and then it's like the guy with the like pinboard and all those lines. I mean, it's a really complex series, but it's really well made.
It's
honestly
one of the best animes. One of the best series, full stop. Not even just anime.
Like, the only negative in One Piece is his pace.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit slow. And early on the visuals aren't great because they're old as shit.
I mean, it's a 22-year-old series, you know, like.
That is still going.
Series is goddamn as old as me. Actually, it's a little younger.
Yeah, the manga is as old as you.
The manga is older, but if you talk about the anime is a few months younger.
You were born to watch One Piece.
Yeah. Imagine starting to watch it day one. I would have been like a few months old at that point. How much of a throwback it is though, because like people might complain about the pixels not being there and all that sort of stuff. It's a like square aspect ratio, which I love.
Which it does go modern aspect ratios later.
Yeah.
I like how slowly over time you see the animation quality to go up because of time of the style slide changing.
The anime, you know, evolves with the technology.
Now One Piece isn't known for the visuals, and it will never be. It's a weekly show. It doesn't have time to do too much of special stuff with the visuals.
Yeah. But it's fun.
It's fun.
The important thing is, it's not like a Western weekly show where it's just things happening. Like, One Piece is going forwards with a big story.
It's actually pretty funny because my mom watches a couple of those, like, you know, Western shows, Bold and the Beautiful, stuff like that. And it's like,
when
I looked at like amount of episodes. It's like 8,000 episodes, but they're all like the same garbage.
when I try to watch one of these, it just keeps going in circles.
Yeah.
One Piece actually makes progress. There's
Yeah,
one
One
goal
Piece is
and
like
they're
one
going.
continuous, like it's one continuous story that is ever evolving, which is fun.
Yeah. And it's going somewhere. You know where they're going and you learn why they're going there.
Well, you don't really know where they're going. I mean, Luffy just
they're
decides a
going
random
to the
direction.
treasure. They're going
No.
to the treasure.
Well, that's the end goal, but Luffy just goes, okay, now we're going there.
Well, until they get Nami. Which is an actual navigator, so they actually know where they're going.
Yeah. And then they kind of roughly follow the direction.
I mean, they get sidetracked.
Yeah.
Thing is, the world is great to see, so you like getting sidetracked in One Piece.
Yeah.
And sometimes the sidetracking becomes the main story.
I mean,
Yes.
even before we get the navigator, like, you know, like I think the first like actual crew member he gets is Solo,
Let's get them in.
Yes.
but like, you know, the swordsman with no sense of direction whatsoever,
Yes.
Yes.
who somehow was a pirate hunter.
Kept stumbling onto pirates on accident.
And we're at 50%.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, I just took him out. Ah, this was his bounty. Ah.
I
Now
don't
I can
recall
get-
the reason
okay,
why
I
he
can
was
eat.
captured there though.
I mean, probably because he couldn't pay some kind of thing that they needed.
Friendlies! Friendlies!
Probably.
Also, the marine commander there was corrupt, so
All these minerals.
it might not be for a proper reason to begin with.
Just
I love how Luffy
5%.
destroyed him.
Yeah.
I love that One Piece is a very balanced take on the sides. So, some marines are good, some are bad, some pirates are good, some pirates are bad.
Imagine being bad.
Who's bad?
Is your butt white too?
What?
Yeah, is your butt white?
Lol.
No, you don't get it?
No, I do get it.
Objective completed.
I just choose to make it awkward.
God damn it.
I'm here to make it weird.
Why did you have to make why are we here? Just to make me suffer?
Yes.
Cool. Then I'll continue talking about One Piece.
Yes. So in Zoro's arc, I don't think much happens. It's pretty much setting up the world, setting up the characters.
Setting up some of the characters.
Well done.
I mean, the kid of the bad marine, you see him again in the future.
Yeah, he joins Colby, which is the kid from right at the start.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like it's fun to see them together every once in a while
Yes.
and see how much of a coward he still is.
I mean, they actually become really competent.
Yeah.
They actually become really, really good at what they do.
Why are we still mining?
I don't know.
Why should we are dwarves? Why shouldn't we be mining?
Have you seen the scale of my beard? I have to do enough mining to upkeep beard costs. Alright, let's go to the drop.
Yeah, me too.
Dive stage wrapping up.
And then who's the next one that they made? Is it Nami after?
Well, Nami is there from pretty much the start, but she doesn't officially join for a while.
Yes.
Because Nami is tricking them at the start to steal their stuff.
Right, which they don't really have anything, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Then we
officially Nami
go-
is the third one to join.
In T-minus 5 minutes.
Yes.
Well, it's a third crew member.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she boards the ship to try to steal something, but then she ends up sticking around. After what happens in her arc.
Actually, isn't it fourth?
What's what?
Is it?
Or is it Usopp first?
No,
Yeah, it's Usopp after.
no,
Crunch.
Nami. Wait, Luffy is number 1, Zoro is number 2, and Nami is number 3.
Depending on how you look at it. There's many people who say Nami only officially joins after Arlong Park.
I got this officially from from Oda, so
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
well, he is the creator of
On
One
the
Piece,
ship
so
before
but-
Usopp.
Yes, but things go lost in translation. He very well might have gone the order where they joined Luffy, which is not the order where they joined the crew.
Well, boarded the ship.
Alright, so we go to Syrup Village. Usawawawaps area.
No,
Yes.
the brave warrior of the sea.
Captain Usopp!
Oh no!
So we have an evil butler man that's trying to get rid of Usopp's girlfriend basically, because she's rich and he wants the money. That's the basic gist of it.
I love how you called it Usopp's girlfriend.
It
Yeah,
is
but
Usopp's
she is
girlfriend.
basically.
I mean, she kind of is, but they're not dating.
They are.
Yeah,
Kind
but
of.
also not.
And then you just...
They are dating. The thing is, she's physically incapable of leaving the house, right?
Pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
And he was not allowed in the house because of the butler.
Yes. Because the butler was like, "Oh, you dang git!"
I feel
You don't
Usopp is
get off my property!
I feel like Usopp's story is the first time you learn that like there's more happening here than just an action show.
Docked. Initiate launch sequence.
Because you kind of learn people hate Usopp because he keeps calling that
Lying.
pirates are coming whilst they're not.
Yeah, but that's because his dad just ran away.
His dad is a pirate and he left him and his mother behind. And a bit later Usopp's mother died of an illness.
Diving.
Whoop. Whoop.
Don't let the bugs get me!
And here we are. Where were we? Usopp.
What's up?
What's up?
Of course there's great fights on Syrup Village.
Second stage of the deep dive.
Yeah.
Complete
You
your
see
objectives.
so Usopp is a coward, obviously, that's the point.
You see, so, basically, Usopp's scout.
And a liar?
You see his sheer determination, like, he can't stand anymore and he keeps going to try to stop the pirates, like he literally just snails forward on the floor and tries to stop them.
Yes.
You see the determination of Usopp there.
I think that's also where you see that Luffy doesn't attack unless you ask for his help.
Yeah. Luffy is not a hero, nor does he want to be.
No. But he has a good reason for that.
Which you will later, after the time skip.
Yes.
It's important when you look at Luffy. Luffy is a lot more intelligent than he makes himself look.
I'm gonna
you
take
go.
that.
I'm taking some
Yeah, like,
Luffy has a lot of street smarts.
I-
He can read
I-
people pretty well.
first when I started watching, I was like, this guy's an idiot. But at this point, I know exactly what he's gonna do, and I know he's gonna outsmart people and stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like he's
Like
not
he-
conventionally smart. Like he's not gonna be doing great maths or solving some science thing. But he
But
knows
he's-
what he's doing and he knows people.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good at that. For which I respect him.
So Captain Usopp joins the crew.
But
And
he
he's
is
no
not
longer
captain.
captain.
Well, he's still Captain Usopp. And then we go get a cook, because nobody's good at cooking.
Die, you double-jointed freak!
We should have gone for the musician first.
Yes.
Nah.
Well, Luffy
Well-
keeps calling out that they need a musician.
Yeah.
Ain't ready.
So they go for a chef, so they go to a floating restaurant. It's a very nice looking boat in my opinion.
Man,
Yes.
I saw one built that in real life.
Built a Bugatti, eh?
Just built a Bugatti in real life. Put it out somewhere on the Atlantic Sea.
Yeah.
Atlantic
And,
Ocean.
yeah. That's where we meet Sanji, which is gonna be the chef of the crew eventually. And I feel like when they're telling
He's gonna be the crew simp.
Yes. And I feel like when they're telling Sanji's background story, well, they're telling Sanji's background story, That's when they show their hand that they're not gonna be afraid to go a bit dark sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they show people starving themselves over multiple days.
What else?
I'm out of platforms.
What? What, Barry?
What else should they do?
And they also show the sheer amount of will some people will have in this story. So there's a chef, pirate man, and there's a young version of Sanji that are stranded. And the chef divides the food.
Right,
He gets a big bag because he's larger than Sanji, and Sanji gets a small bag. Now over days, Sanji gets angry at this, that the chef has more food than he has. Until eventually, they're both on opposite sides of the island they're on. Until eventually
It's a small
Sanji
island
goes there
also, so.
to go try to kill the chef. To take his food. Because they're dying. Only to see that the chef is way more starved than he is. And that there never was food in his bag to begin with.
Dum dum
The
dum.
chef's bag was just filled with gold. To make Sanji think there was food in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the
One
only-
Piece is not afraid to go dark, and that's nowhere near the darkest the show goes.
Yeah, it can go pretty dark, and I like it can become so dark sometimes.
The thing is, with One Piece, you don't really notice how dark they go because they flip-flop between extremely happy stuff and then to the dark stuff.
Yes.
So the dark stuff kinda gets muffled by happier stuff.
Which is fun.
Yeah, when you watch the dark stuff on its own, it's actually really heavy to watch it after the fact.
Yeah. It's a really well written series, and I have no idea how he's able to like put stuff in the series that he's gonna use like years later. Cause like for me it's like a few like days or weeks or whatnot. But this show's been going for like years, you know?
Yeah.
Decades.
No, years and years.
Well, decades, two of them.
Hey look, a bulk detonator.
That's fine, you guys deal with that.
So we have a fight at the end of the Baratie arc with Don Krieg, who uses like a bunch of weapons and stuff. And eventually, after some convincing, Sanji joins the group. After that, we leave.
Mihawk go first.
Yeah, we have a fight with Hawkeye and Mihawk. So what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, you watch that and you're like, this guy's pretty cool, I guess.
And then he cuts the ship in half.
And then he cuts a sheep in half.
I saw
then he-
this boat in half!
Yeah, the power of flex tape will not fix that. And then he disappears. Like you don't hear anything from him for
A long time. Yeah, you don't hear anything from Mihawk for a long time.
500 episodes, something like that.
Yeah, they just set him up, they show this is how far Zoro has to get to become the best swordsman. And then they just let him be, because Zoro is not the best swordsman yet.
By far.
Nami steals their ship. Because she got some bad news from home.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the gang follows her. So we
Yep.
get to Arlong Park. What are our
She got,
thoughts of
she got the
Arlong
news that she can no longer work from home.
On this point, I have to say something really important about the series, the music. There is a certain track that I always have to think about.
You have to think about it.
Well, I think always about a scene when I hear that music. When I hear Overtaken. The walk to Arlong Park is always it's always the image I have.
Yeah, the walk to Arlong Park is a very iconic scene. It's also the scene where Luffy for the first time shows he actually trusts Nami. Because before that he actually didn't.
Ammo taken.
That's the point where he feels comfortable giving her his hat whilst he does something. And his hat is very important.
Wait, can you throw that any more limp?
Can you not catch that?
Not if it misses me by like 20
off
meters.
of you.
I'm not called Monkey D. Luffy, I cannot stretch my arms.
Yes, you can.
You don't have to stretch your arms to
Also,
catch
they
that.
show Arlong just straight up shooting, shooting a character in the face.
Straight up
Or putting her
executing
in
a
the
pretty
dungeon.
much innocent woman.
Depends on what version you watch.
Straight up cap Nami's mom.
Yeah,
Not if you watch the 4th Kids version though.
not biological mother. And it's also not when you're watching the Chinese version.
I don't think One Piece has a Chinese version.
I'm not sure, but have you seen the Chinese version memes lately?
Yeah,
One sentry gun.
Censoring blood with
let's
white
do the
stuff.
dread now.
Yep.
Ready, loaded.
You do know that I have like no secondary ammo, right?
There's an
Hey, look,
supply pod.
a resupply pot.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
look, another resupply pot.
Dimly, I am not about to shoot your ass. This is a deep dive.
So diving in the deep. Arlong made for a pretty intimidating villain.
Yes.
At least at that part in the story.
I'll make a very nice introduction to, hey, so we have some pretty cool fights and some pretty strong enemies.
We also have some fantasy races going on here.
Yeah, that as well.
Arlong is a fishman.
Hi. He's a man made out of fish.
Yes. In fact,
Well,
he's a
more
saw
out of-
shark.
More out of shark.
Surf shark?
Saw shark.
Shield place.
He
No
sawed the
sponsor.
shark in half.
I'm running down.
We also get to see Usopp confronting himself. Because he starts making up a lie of why he couldn't defeat his enemy. And then he changed his mind and actually got back up and got over his fear.
Yeah. Like, Usopp has some pretty cool moments. His coolest moments happening later on in the series.
Yes.
Smooth.
I'm alive.
I'm not the enemy.
So we fix this and we go to a place called Lockdown. Now in this place, this is the last island before you get to where they're trying to get, which is the Grand Line.
The Grande Rhine.
Well done, team.
You have to go over a reversed waterfall to get there, so they're preparing for that in Lockdown. And in Lockdown we meet a man called Captain Smoker.
That eats a little girl's ice creams with his
Who
pants.
just likes smoking. And
Yes.
Heading back.
I also love his assistant,
Get that drop pod
Tashigi,
fixed.
Kashigi.
who looks almost exactly like the older version of a girl Zoro knew when he was young and watched die.
All
Yep.
rules
Yes.
secure.
But isn't that how you learn Zoro's backstory?
Establishing a proper
I
Because
don't
he
know
gets
if
flashbacks.
We know that, like,
up the uplink.
I think you learn Zoro's backstory pretty much immediately.
yeah, basically immediately. Like, the episode after he joined, actually.
And then I love that she looks like that, but then like she also has those glasses.
Uplink ready.
So like every time she drops her glasses she can't see anything anymore.
Triangulation zone, or we will
She
lose
becomes
connection.
Velma from
We've got one shot at
Scooby-Doo.
this.
My glasses! I can see without my glasses.
Pretty much.
So Captain Smoker is the first Logia we run into, which at this point in the story, Logia is basically invincible.
Triangulation at
There's physically
Yeah.
nothing the entire crew can do
And-
to hurt this man.
And it's also something that like, you know, like if you don't know what the Logia is, you're like, what the hell is this guy?
Yes. So Captain Smoker can turn into smoke.
He is smoke. He's a smoke man.
Yes. And
Smoky.
he takes no damage from seemingly anything. Also, he wields a weapon that can take away Luffy's powers.
triangulation at 75%. Almost there.
So an old friend called Buggy the Clown shows up as well in this arc. We didn't talk about
Yes.
Buggy yet, so...
Yeah, and doesn't Alvida also show it?
Yes. She's
Yes.
on Buggy's crew now.
Yes, and she's a changed woman.
Yes.
Naturally, and
And I need to point out, here in Lockdown, Buggy actually almost kills Luffy.
Remote control reestablished.
yes,
Sitting in fresh fuel cells for the drop part.
Like, he's about to actually execute Luffy, and then he gets zapped by lightning.
yes,
Which, knowing who is there, which is Luffy's dad, who seems to be able to control the weather, he also stopped Smoker from getting him, might have actually been Dragon, Luffy's father. Like, he might have done that lightning that
Cells
stopped
have
Buggy.
arrived. Connect them to the
But
drop
we're
part
not
with
sure
the
about that.
cable.
We're not sure about that. In fact, where Simli and I are, we still aren't sure about that.
Yeah, but what I find amazing is the fact that, like, at that point you don't even know who that is.
To prep the fuel
Like,
you don't.
you kind of see a shadow, I think. They show him, like, an outline or something like that.
Oh, they fully
Yeah.
show his face, but you don't know the face, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
No, like, no name whatsoever. You don't know who that is.
fuel cells
Yeah.
charging.
So this seemingly random guy saved Luffy just because he felt like it.
Yeah, you only learn about who he is in Water 7.
after Water 7 basically.
Yep. In Water 7 when Garp shows up.
Yes, Garp defist.
Big hand paw.
Incendiary grenade!
Fuel cells at 50%.
So after that we go up Reversed Mountain. Not too much happens there. We meet a big ass whale.
Whale,
just-
whale.
And then a man in a whale.
And
Mysterious
I-
man in a whale.
I love how you meet a big ass whale, you get the backstory for the whale,
Yes.
and then nothing happens with that part of the story for another few hundred episodes.
Yes. Get the backstory for the whale, and there's a guy that lives inside of the whale. That gives them a tool they need to navigate the Grand Line.
You're almost there.
Yes.
Yes.
After that we move to Jaya. No, not yet.
Well, Jaya.
That's
that
way
is-
too soon. We move to Whiskey Peak,
Yes.
which is a cactus island. That's actually a trap set up by a bunch of mercenaries.
Then Zoro and Luffy fight briefly.
Yes, they fight each other and then the mercenaries.
It lingers.
And then we learn that
There's
one
fights
of them...
among the crews.
What?
Like, there's fights among the crew
Yeah.
members.
Of course.
Fuel cells fully charged. Drop part
Like, it's not always like sunshine on deck, you know?
for you and the
And that's also where we meet Vivi, who is being a double agent at that point. She's working for the mercenaries.
Roku works.
Yeah, for the mercenaries at Baroque work. But she's actually the princess of a desert country, which is where we go next. She asks Luffy for help and Luffy helps.
What's that, Kingman?
Yo, Klaus, take your supply.
Yeah, sure.
Grabbing ammo.
So, Alabasta arc. What do we have
Well,
to say about it? here?
we have to say more.
my
We have
favorite
Little
guard
Garden
for a
and
very long time.
Drum Island.
Yeah, there's Little Garden and Drum Island, of
We're
course.
here to shoot the ones with
So,
Little
on it-
Garden we meet two giants
powering radiation shielding.
and a candle
we
man.
also have the beginning
Yeah.
of Zoro's and Sanji's
the candle man.
rivalry.
Mr. Hurry.
Calm operational.
And then after that we meet Mr. 2, right?
No, after that we take a little break and we go to Chopper.
Drum Island,
We go meet
and
Chopper.
where Chopper joins.
Yes. Where Chopper joins because Nami got extremely sick.
Right,
They had to
yeah.
find.
Well,
had
they
to find
went
a
to there
doctor.
because Nami was sick.
Yeah, and they had to find a doctor. And then they find out the island only has doctors for the king, basically.
Yeah.
And then they found out there's a secret doctor at the top of a mountain, so Luffy has to climb the entire mountain with Nami on his back, barehanded. Up top
isn't-
there is where we meet Chopper, who becomes the good doctor, of course.
The sheep doctor, who happens to also be a
reindeer that
dog.
ate a
No, he's
zoon.
a raccoon dog.
No, he's a rain.
No, he's a
Well,
raccoon
depends
dog.
on who you ask. On
He's a
the
tanuki.
drum,
He's a tanukichi. You have to always name him like the people name him. He's a raccoon.
well, on Drum Island, he is seen as a monster,
Yes.
Yes.
So,
not as a raccoon though.
so Chopper's backstory is, I think, the most painful at that point in the story.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all pretty bad, but that one's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Yeah, you have Chopper who becomes a human by chance,
My lucky charm.
and he isn't accepted anywhere
Stone in the heart.
until, like, even getting shot at and having to run away.
Check your gear and
He
let's
meets a
go.
doctor man, which is the most legendary man in history,
To say the least.
yes.
Management have full confidence
and
in your abilities,
over time he
however.
becomes
Let's
friends
see
with the
to it
doctor.
they're not disappointed.
The doctor
Otherwise,
basically is his
they'll
dad
best
at that point.
remains of the medbay back home.
Now this
Because
doctor
Chopper
is
was also
doing...
very young.
Yeah. Now this doctor is doing illegal doctoring, because you're not allowed to be a doctor on the island unless you work for the king.
Which actually is also pretty dark.
Yes. And then
One sentry gun. Ready
the
to
doctor
defend.
becomes sick.
Sentry done. Go get him, boy.
Rock and stone, everyone.
And then Chopper goes for a big journey to find a mushroom that he thinks is a medicine. But it's actually a deadly poisonous mushroom.
Loaded.
The doctor eats it anyway. Just to make
Because-
Chopper feel better. And then he hears that the doctors that work for the king are all sick. So he goes there to help them. And then he finds out none of them are actually sick and it's just a trap to capture him. He's actually happy to hear this, because he was worried the doctors were gonna die.
Yes. Like every good person should do.
He sits down and has the epic speech of, when exactly does a man die?
Die. Nope.
And at the end he says,
One sentry gun.
there's a monster coming. Please don't kill him, he's my son. And then he explodes himself.
Bad
No.
move.
And then when the clouds of the explosion clear,
Ain't no points
you
given.
see Chopper standing right there, arriving just too late to do anything.
Tum, tum, tum. Tum, 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 tum.
Weapon ready.
Access provided.
Oh, here's some more guy.
Why call for Molly?
So that's a pretty a nice arc. So that's our feeling on that arc. We get to know Vivi as well a bit more during that arc.
We see
For a while,
Thor
it looks
swimming in.
For a while,
water.
she's a crew member.
Yeah, she's a crew. She's the only official ex-Straw Hat.
Yeah.
Because obviously, at the end of her arc, she stays behind in her country to
To wait for flare recharge.
do princess thing.
Hello. Today I was loved by a cave leech.
And then we do actually get to Alabasta.
Yes.
Sentry gun needs assembly.
Now, the first thing we learn about the show in Alabasta is Luffy is not always going to win every fight.
Yes.
In fact, he loses twice in a row.
Yes.
That's an important lesson. The good guys don't always win in One Piece.
Which is also pretty interesting.
This is also where you start really noticing that One Piece has a theme. And the theme is discrimination in general. Alright, then we're back. So let's speed up here a bit. What's our thoughts on Alabasta arc?
We see the legendary form of Water Luffy.
Yes, we learned that Logias can have elemental weaknesses.
Yeah, we learn more about Logias because the main villain of the Arabasta arc has a Logia.
Yes. We also meet Nico Robin, who will later join the crew.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have to tragically leave Vivi behind.
We basically trade. We trade Robin for well, we trade Vivi for Robin basically.
Yes. Yes,
Which-
yes, really sad.
It's not a bad trade deal. It's just sad that somebody has to.
She does actually
Think-
come back into the story eventually, by the way, Vivi.
Yeah, but you don't know that yet.
Well, he does know that. Like, he could have guessed that.
Yeah, of course. She's also been back in the story, like where I'm at right now.
Yes,
She's after the time skip, but we go
reading
over
the
that. Like,
newspapers as well.
yeah.
Is it immediately Jaya after that? Yeah, it's pretty
Yes.
much immediately Jaya after that. So after that we go to an island and the log post points up. That's where we are.
I learned,
then
I
we
learned
go-
the technique from One Piece.
What?
I can see a shot incoming and I can dodge it.
Oh yeah. So after that we have to go into the sky.
Sky Island, which happens to be in the sky. About 10 kilometers in the sky, to be exact.
Yes. And we learn about the cool technology shell thing that does weird stuff.
But it's pretty cool. And
Yes.
technology.
Usopp will use this to upgrade his own and Nami's arsenals.
Usopp will remember this.
Also, we see the Going Merry, which is the ship taking up more and more damage. over time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Slowly over time.
In fact,
ship-
we see the ship repair itself. It's kind of
Yes.
Yeah.
like a weird ghost thing fixes the ship.
Dreadnought threat eliminated.
It's really cool that they also gave the ship kind of a personality. And that comes... I love that they take that into the story further as well. Like, the ship is given by Usopp's girlfriend,
Yes.
Basically.
basically. And, like, they don't want to let it go.
Wonder
But
what slot.
all good things must come to an end.
So we defeat God.
Yeah.
Who happens to wield lightning, so I guess it's Thor.
Yeah, and Luffy is like, yeah, I'm rubber, your powers don't work on me.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
he's extremely confused by this.
Yes.
He's by far the strongest enemy we've encountered, and he can see into the future. He knows what moves you are doing before you do them.
I wonder why that is a thing.
It's almost like there's an entire second power system.
Yeah, oh wow.
So right after this we balloon down with a balloon octopus.
Klaus, you take the risk line?
Life.
Yeah, sure.
Big swarm is approaching.
Ready to
We balloon down with a balloon octopus. And we have the best filler arc in anime history, which is G8.
Yes.
It's so... to me, that's not even a filler arc. It's so good that it's like...
Combat
It's
position.
legitimately a chess match between the guy that runs G8 and the Straw Hat.
Yeah,
they're-
pretty much.
They're trying to outbrain each other.
not ready yet.
I'm just following you,
And
Klaus.
the commander of G8 is such a cool guy. Like, he's not super powerful or anything like that, he's just really cool. That's so
Yeah.
like that. Where do we go after G8?
Nice.
After G8 we get the man we don't speak about, because it takes too long, because he makes you slow, just like Simbi.
Yes.
So we fight small Simbi.
Got it right between the eyes.
So we learn about the Davy back fight, which is yet to come back, and it wasn't very popular, so I assume it's not coming back.
Yeah, I didn't really like it as much.
Yeah, no one does.
That was like, I think 10 or 20 episodes.
Yeah, it's
Well, I
double the
genuinely-
length in the anime. That's double the length that it is in the manga.
Yeah, and I watched those episodes being like, man, this is so boring.
The only good part is
Like,
F-roll power.
I assume if it wasn't for who I am and you guys, like, most people would just hook off right there.
To make it out of
Yeah,
the
Because it's just
people give up on
super
Long
bold. The only reason I kept watching is because I knew it would get better.
It gets way better.
It gets.
In fact, immediately after that, we go to Water 7, which is together with what comes right after, which is Ennis Lobby, one of the best parts of the series. In Water 7 we meet Furangi, who will become the shipwright.
lingers.
Super!
God, you slippery.
He's a cyborg powered by air pressure that comes from cola.
Yes.
Kind of like me.
Sentry on!
Flares ain't ready.
Except you are powered by
NATO site
apple cider.
No, I'm actually drinking Strongbow right now.
Right now? At this
Yes,
exact moment?
I actually have Strongbow red berries. They have an alcohol-free version, which
An
I'm drinking.
alcohol-free version.
Lock and load it.
So
Yeah, I mean, in our Cyberpunk playthrough we didn't drink alcohol, so I have to keep up the tradition, you know?
keeping up the tradition.
Only in this game we drink alcohol.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Because we're
important. So let's talk about Water 7 and Ennis Lobby together, because they're one thing basically.
Yeah.
In One Piece.
They're one piece of story. Dus,
Look
speed
over
on.
here.
Isn't this also after they lost the ship?
The ship is heavily damaged, and we arrive with the ship heavily damaged at Water 7 to get it repaired.
Right, yeah.
Now the shipwrights actually end up telling the Straw Hats that the ship's not repairable.
Sentry gun needs assembly.
And then we have a fight between...
This sparks a very heavy fight between Luffy and Usopp, which, mind you, this fight is happening after Usopp has been beaten half to death twice by enemies.
Yes.
Like, Usopp can barely stand during this fight.
I could need a good.
A random shopkeeper comes and helps Usopp because he's concerned that Usopp is just going to die before the fight starts. This random shopkeeper is a legend.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we get Luffy versus Usopp, which is top 3 fights in the series, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
A
It's
great
like
fight.
one of the best fights actually.
Yes, it's such a cool fight.
And it's at this point that Usopp pushes
I
himself
mean, you
further
have
than
more
the Dragon.
epic fights and more grander fights,
Flare charge.
but this is one of the best fights in the series.
And I remain convinced that fight is the last time they use the impact dial, which reflects physical damage and doubles it. And I am convinced Oda is that's the writer, just trying to get us to forget about it, to pull it out in a random ass time, and because Usopp still has it.
Yeah, but an impact tile you can only use twice?
No, that's the reject tile. The impact tile you can just keep using.
Right, yeah.
He had both. I think the reject is gone, but he still has the impact tile.
Yeah, and you should use
At-
it again because
At
it's so
any
cool.
point in time, Usopp could just with his hand stop a massive hit from any enemy.
And then just return it.
Yes. And it's
Yes.
been so long since then that I don't think anyone is expecting him to do it.
Not even Oda himself,
Yes.
it would seem.
So, Robin gets captured by demons from her past.
Also known as the Marines!
Also known as, well, it's not the Marines, it's CP9. The CPs
Yeah.
are not part of the Marines.
And then they go to Ennis Lobby?
Yeah, they go to Ennis Lobby to rescue Robin,
Ammo left.
together with Frankie, who was at the start of the arc was the villain of the arc.
Yes. And also don't forget, Sniper King.
Yeah, Sniper King shows up to help on the
Ogechi no Shimate.
Yeah,
And whilst Usopp is gone, his friend Sniper King shows up to help the crew.
Yeah,
How convenient!
but that's because he's from a land far away,
But it's
but
also
it's also
close in
deep in your heart.
Yes. And the wind carries his name.
Yeah, so that's why he's able to pretty much actually like swap places with Usopp, you know?
Yeah. So together with Sniper King, who Luffy will never know his true identity. And so will, and neither will you. If you think you know, you don't.
Yeah, no, you clearly don't.
I've seen
Nobody
this
knows
weird theory that people think Usopp is Sniper King.
Time to pay
Yeah,
Makes
why do
no
people
sense.
do it? Yeah.
On a more serious note, though, that's a very cool weapon upgrade. Like the
Yeah.
Sniper King staff.
Yeah, it's also funny how he gets more courage.
Objective completed. All kite quota met.
So we go through Ennis lobby, which is
Good work. All objectives completed.
basically a world
Drop
government
mark and hold
headquarters.
via the mule.
And by
Basically, one of the
doing
three world government big facilities that they say are like very like, yo, never been attacked by pirates before. And then a pirate attacks it and absolutely destroys it.
Arrived. Retrieving the mule.
Because that's actually no, like they destroy it themselves because an idiot initiates a buster call. So
yes.
Yeah.
at that point, Luffy did not destroy it himself.
ammo.
No, he didn't.
Bloody sonnet. And here I
It's a long video. Might split it into a two-parter. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Gather your thoughts and your hopes and dreams. Dun, 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 na, 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 na.